Hello, everyone. I am Jill M. Jackson. I am a psychic medium, a trance channel, a prophetic psychic, and an award winning author, spiritual teacher. I am coming to you with my predictions and energy update for September of 2025. For those of you who are new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button below. And thank you so much to everyone who has been following the channel, and thank you for your comments. I do my best to read every single one, and I truly appreciate the energy and the love. I am also going to post some links below with information on our High Vibe Tribe and other events. All right, let's get right into the month of September. You know, it's kind of a heavy month in some way and a really expansive month in other ways. And I feel like I have been talking about this polarities for some time now. I will talk about the predictions first, and then I will talk about the energy of the month after that. And then I always end with a 3-card tarot reading to kind of solidify the messages that are coming in for us for September. Remember that with all predictions, we can send our energy to pray and send intentions that these events do not unfold. Okay. So remember that. And remember not to give anyone your sovereignty, your divinity. Learn to tune in to your own knowings, your own feelings, your own visions and beliefs. Okay. And I am a soul alchemist. I love teaching people how to do that. So let's just dive right in to what I'm seeing coming. And some of these will be September and beyond. But the first thing that I want to talk about is definitely an unstable dollar. There is a lot of instability around the world, around the globe with the US dollar, despite what the now state-run media would have you believe. I am telling you, the dollar is unstable. It is recommended to look into other investments if you are able to, and to plan accordingly. I do see a digital currency coming. Now, I have mixed feelings about this, mostly not wonderful feelings around this, because with digital currency, there is more opportunity for control. And I am someone who believes in sovereignty and I think outside of the box. So I am not a huge proponent of digital currency. However, I see it coming, and I feel like that there's going to be different factions of it, if you will. There's going to be one digital currency that I'm seeing that is going to replace what the dollar was previously. And I feel like that they're working on that right now, trying to develop that to determine what that's going to look like, what it's going to be, how they're going to get all of this transitioned over from the dollar to digital currency. And then I also feel like there is some digital currency that people will invest in that can stay outside of Big Brother, if you will, or stay outside of the system and use that digital currency to transfer back and forth and to try to stay out of that system. So I recommend if you are with one of the larger big banks, you may want to consider changing to a credit union. Again, check with your own intuition, see how that feels for you. But I am seeing that instability increasing over the coming months. Also, tune in yourself on what you're feeling with digital currency. Again, we are looking and investing in some that seems to be like outside of the traditional system. And I'm not a financial advisor. And by the way, all of this is for entertainment purposes only, but kind of check in for yourself and start doing your own research. See how you're feeling. See how the energy of that digital currency feels for you and what it represents. Okay. Now, this is another area that it's a heavy area for years. And I'm going to say going back 15 years, my prediction has been about a time coming up where we would be both in a revolution and a civil war at the same time. And I never did understand how that could possibly be, what it meant. It was so confusing, yet the same vision and information continued to come in. So we are now in the energy of a civil war. And the reason I call it an energy of a civil war is I am praying that it does not escalate. However, with the rhetoric that is being currently spoken, with those in this regime calling liberals and Democrats domestic terrorists, that is beyond alarming. It is important for us to remember, though, that the purpose behind this is to not only incite violence, but to further divide this nation. That is their end goal, because united we stand, literally, and when we are divided, they can more easily not only control the residents of this country, but they can also create more of a lower vibrational frequency by having different sides go after the other side, so to speak. So that is their end goal. I really am encouraging you to find your balance in this and not to buy into the rhetoric of this division, this hateful rhetoric, and to remember that when we go into fear mode, they are able to harness that energy. Evil harnesses the energy of fear as a food source. So it's really, really important that we keep our vibrations high, that we become aware of what's going on, and we speak up and out for justice if that's what we're called to do. But it's important to really set reminders for ourselves to keep our vibrational frequency high and to keep focusing on the new earth frequency, the fifth dimensional frequency. Okay. Now, I want to talk about the occupation of DC. That is being done under false pretenses. And when you look at the rate of crime and violence of all the states, actually, my home state of Mississippi is number one, sadly, in murders, crime, and violence. And mostly red states are. So if this were truly being done to combat crime, this would have been started in the states with the highest crime. That's just common sense. So it's so evident and obvious that this is not being done to fight crime. This is being done there's multiple reasons Spirit has shown me that this is being done. One is intimidation and dominance. The other is to continue to cause high levels of fear, just tremendous fear. And again, that lowers the vibrational frequency. It's easier to control those who are in a state of fear. And then there's another layer to this as well. And they know that with the court cases coming up in September for the election interference, which will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was EI. I have spoken about this since the day after the contest or the election, if you want to call it that. I'm going to use that term really loosely. And I've spoken out about it pretty publicly, but there is proof. They've done audits. There's proof coming. The court cases will be proving this, and they know that unrest, civil unrest is coming once that is starting to be announced more and more into the mainstream. So the National Guard is being put in place for that reason as well. Now, another prediction that I've been hesitant to speak out loud, but I'm being encouraged to put it out there for preparedness and awareness. But for some time now, I have been shown that there is a new virus that's coming and potentially another pandemic. So I am praying that I'm wrong about this. I am really praying that I'm wrong about this. I feel like the timing, I feel like it starts, we will hear about it in the next month or two, but I don't feel like it actually reaches the United States until 2026. I feel like it reaches Europe sooner than that, and then ends up coming to the United States as well. But I mention this to remind everyone that the best way to protect ourselves is to boost our immune systems naturally. So please look into that. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a neurologist, but I have been able to successfully fight all viruses and illnesses by natural means. There is colloidal silver, there's olive oregano, there's mushrooms that are amazing for boosting immunity. And on and on. I mean, there's so many amazing herbs to boost our immunity. And awareness is the key. And I'm not stating this to create fear. I'm mentioning it because it continues to be in my awareness. And I would rather be wrong about this. I'm praying if I'm wrong about anything, I'm praying that I'm wrong about this. Would like nothing more than 6 months from now for some of the trolls to come back around and say, you were wrong about that. I pray for that. But in case that what I'm being shown actually comes to fruition, let's start improving our immune system, especially over the winter months. I feel like we're going to have an early winter. All right. So that's all I'm going to speak about that. I'm going to continue putting energy that it's not the case. Now, I have also spoken sometime publicly about Trump's health. I see that declining rapidly in September. I will be shocked if he is still, I'm going to say, conscious by the end of September. Timing is sometimes difficult, but I see that he is in heart failure is what it feels like. It's something with the heart. This has been going on for some time. I've been seeing it psychically for some time. Now more and more doctors are speaking out about it with his symptoms. So I see his health failing in the month of September. And sadly, I do see J.D. Vance being sworn in October, November timeframe. I feel it's temporary. I don't feel like that lasts very long. And I hope that I'm right on that prediction as well. But I have seen that happening. So I did want to talk about that as well. And so that's the kind of downer predictions, if you will, that I wanted to tell everybody about for what I'm seeing in the month of September. And I want to now kind of turn the focus into the amazing and the opportunities and the amazing energy that I'm also seeing for the month of September. And after that, I'll talk about the 3 words that I was given for September as well. So the first thing is, and I'm not an astrologer, but there are 2 eclipses that are happening in the month of September, and this is life-changing energy. It is an opportunity for us to expand. It is an opportunity for us to let go of what no longer serves us. So it's an uncomfortable energy for sure. However, if we embrace our deepest fears and our deepest shadows, then we are able to fully step into our mastery and our soul path and what we came here to accomplish in this lifetime. In September, it's a 9-month, which 9 signifies endings. So it's got the energy, and let's put that energy on endings that no longer serve our highest and best good. I'm seeing that for the month of September. I'm seeing such a polarity of really challenging energy, energy that doesn't feel comfortable at times, but also energy of expansion and opportunities and new revelations coming to us from our guides and our spirit team. So let's really tune into that energy and that flow. The month of September is giving us an opportunity to master the energy of neutrality rather than reaction. You may find yourself triggered more than normal throughout the month of September because the energy around this is, again, providing opportunities for us to really, really, really deep dive into our shadows and ask ourselves, is there further opportunity for growth? And for most of us, shadow work and alchemy is a lifelong pursuit. So pay attention to that in the month of September and remember that mastery comes from neutrality rather than reaction. And it is just my joy. It's what I came here to do, is to help people really dive deep into their own shadows and their own fears and help them embrace their soul's mission and to climb those hills and the mountains to really, really overcome the self-limitations and the false narratives to embrace our full potential. And that's what the energy of September brings for us. Okay. Now, the 3 words that Spirit gave me for September, the first one is closure. And that goes along with what I was talking about with letting go of what no longer serves us. And many of you may be faced with relationships in your lives that no longer serve your highest and best good for the evolution of your soul. And you may either choose yourself to lovingly walk away from that relationship, or the universe may step in and create that ending for us. And it depends on the scenario of how that will happen. So just know that the energy of September is based on some closure. But remember, with all endings that no longer serve us and all energy removed from our lives that no longer serves us, it creates an expansion energy for those of like mind to come into our lives, and it helps our vibration continue to rise higher and higher. Now, the other word that Spirit gave me for the energy around September is rebirthed renewal. And again, it's an opportunity to reinvent, to recreate, to continue co-creating. It is a rebirth type of energy, and that's the energy that we're in. Again, sometimes that feels uncomfortable, but if we are stepping courageously onto our soul's path and our mission, then we will feel it more of a renewal type energy. And then the third word that I was given for the month of September is transition. And that can also be looked at as a bridge. And Spirit has told me that we are currently in a type of bridge, a type of void. And I'm actually writing my September article for our High Vibe Tribe community members on what that looks like, of being in the energy of a bridge, of having one foot in both worlds, one foot in the old world and one foot in the new earth, and how uncomfortable that balancing act is at times. But if we can focus on this being a bridge, and Spirit says that even in the void, that we can powerfully create our reality. So learning how to do that is going to be quite interesting for sure. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and choose the 3 tarot card for September. We're going to just ask our collective guides, angels, ancestors, benevolent galactic beings to assist us with more words for the month of September. One more, let's see, given to you. Okay. So the first card here is Temperance. Let's see, you get that up. And what this means is balance. And you see that this angelic being of the divine has one foot in the water and one foot on land. And that I just love it when these cards solidify what has been said for this entire month of September. And it is about sacred balance. It is about finding our footing, finding our own balance, not only within our own lives, but within the collective as well. So this word is keep your own cups emotionally filled up, keep your connection to Creator, to your angels, and know that you are divinely guided. And that's what this means. You just keep that sacred balance. Okay. And we are supported. And then the other energy is this card here. And it's an interesting card. And what I'm getting right now for it is, again, it is a message of duality and polarity. In a lot of ways, the old paradigm of the patriarchal energy is crumbling beneath us. And so there's a last ditch effort out there to claw and scratch with the old patriarchy type energy. But at the same time, what I'm reading with this particular card is find your own balance with your sacred divine feminine and divine masculine. And also what I'm getting psychically with this card is, you see he has a staff there. And I love this because Spirit gave me the image of a staff last week in meditation. Actually, it was earlier this week. And I asked what the message was, and it was a message of strength and courage. And you'll see on the staff, there's new leaves there, and that's creating new beginnings. And for us to remember that we are co-creators of our reality. And then the last card is the 4 of Pentacles. And again, this is a card of polarity. It's a card of balance. It is asking us to be aware of our own financial scenario, what works best for us. But also, too, the message of this card is not to hold on to something out of fear or out of greed, to remind ourselves that there is abundance for all. And that is what the energy of the new earth paradigm is, abundance for everyone. There's not limitations. A lack is a limiting belief. And I feel like that's what the message is for this card, is to help each one of us remember that there's many ways to share our abundance. There's many ways to help others. And I feel like during the month of September, we're going to be faced with opportunities to help each other in many different ways. I am sending each one of you so much love, so many blessings. Again, please comment below and check out the links below. Check out our High Vibe Tribe. We have the most amazing high vibrational members, and we've added a new live event that is starting in September, where the members are going to get an opportunity live to connect and meet each other and to share anything that they want to share. We have Mystic Musings, where we have spiritual conversations, and we have guest spiritual teachers. We have meditations, channeling events where I do trance channeling. And Dee Francis recently led, that's my husband in Twin Flame, he recently led an oracle night where he was delivering messages to the members. So it's a lot of fun. And when you're a member, you can go back and watch every entire episode from before. And there's a lot of content on there. All right, check that out below. Check out my courses on intuition and mediumship. And much love. Until next time, namaste.